We are here talking with a star of the Sharktopus.
Yes.
Yeah,
Easily the best part of that movie.
Yeah, he is. He is definitely a highlight. One of the best. He is the best part, but he's just an astounding gentleman. He got us into podcasts with
my gateway podcast was Hollywood Babylon for sure.
Hollywood Babylon was definitely how we started podcasting. We decided to do one based on Hollywood Babylon, and then I signed up for his other podcast, the Ralph Report, which he gives to daily for just 15 cents a day. Comes out to be. And he plays Captain Jack in Sharktopus, and this is Ralph Garman.
Hi guys, how are you?
Great. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything that you do, that you give to the Garmy. It's spectacular what you do for your fans.
Oh, it's my pleasure, and thanks for reaching out and wanting to talk about Sharktopus.
Yeah, we had a fun time with Sharktopus. It was a great time. We all sat down and watched it together because I have a DVD copy because I bought it because when you were in it, and I was like, okay, I want to watch this, so I bought a copy of it on DVD to watch just because you were in it.
Oh, I will tell them that they owe me a little extra money then, I think.
Hey, that they do.
There you go.
Do you have any interesting stories from the set of Sharktopus? Like anything interesting happened on the set?
Well, it's a funny history, my involvement with Sharktopus, because I first heard about it when it was simply announced as the title for an upcoming monster movie on Sci-Fi. And I was doing morning radio here in Los Angeles at the time. And I just thought the name Sharktopus was so awesome that I started to campaign to be in the film. I said, I need to be in a movie that's called Sharktopus. Anything that sounds that ridiculous, half shark, half octopus, I want to be a part of it. So I started making it a recurring bit on the morning radio show here in Los Angeles. And I said, all I want to do is I want to play someone in the movie who at some point just raises his fist and shakes it at the sea and says, damn you, Sharktopus! And so that became the running gag on the morning show. And then I went further. I dummied up an audition scene that I played on the radio show of me playing some half pirate, half marine biologist named Dr. I don't know, Hercules McAdams or something ridiculous like that. And I had sound effects and I did this whole thing. So it was going on and on and on, this recurring bit I was doing about this yet to be filmed movie called Sharktopus that I was already in love with because of the name and the premise. So it turns out one of the upsides of doing radio in Los Angeles is a lot of people in the industry listen to morning radio when they're going into work. And Roger Corman and his lovely wife, who were producing the film, caught wind of my passion for Sharktopus, and they loved that line, damn you, Sharktopus. So the line actually came first before the movie did.
Wow.
And eventually they reached out to me and said, thanks so much for all the publicity and for all the passion. Would you like to be in the film? And I said, hell yeah, that was the whole point of this thing. I told you I wanted to be in this movie because it sounds so awfully wonderful. So they said, okay, we're going to work something out. And they reached out to Declan O'Brien, who is the director, who's now a great friend of mine, and Mike, who was writing the screenplay. And they actually wrote a role for me into the movie. It wasn't in the original script, but they came up with the idea of Captain Jack, the pirate radio broadcaster off the coast, with the sexy tech girl played by the lovely Shandy Finnessy. And they said, okay, we're going to shoot this separately, but here's your bit. You're going to be able to say your famous line, damn you, Sharktopus, and then you're going to get eaten by the Sharktopus. And I said, that is the greatest thing I've ever heard. I couldn't ask for more. So they actually shot the majority of the film down in Mexico, and that's where Eric Roberts and all the kids shot that. And then we shot our scene separately as sort of an insert in a marina down here in Southern California, right off the beach. And it was me and Shandy on the boat, and we shot all that stuff. And then they shot. We did it all in one day, and we shot my legendary death scene where the tentacles of the shark wrap around me and pull me into. And it was funny because I had never worked with CGI monsters, and it's a very hilarious prop. People who were watching thought it was great because they just make you, and they say, okay, the tentacle is going to come out of the ocean, it's going to wrap around you, and it's going to start shaking you, and then it's going to pull you into the ocean. So, how do you act that? I don't know. So I just started flailing my arms and jerking my body and gyrating my body. And then they later went in and CGI'd the tentacle around me to match what I had done. But it was enormously fun, and it was very kind of them to include me in their fun and games. And one of my proudest moments was when the movie premiered. They had a little premiere for it at a little theater here in Los Angeles before it aired on Sci-Fi. And they were giving out everyone souvenir little pinback buttons. And on the buttons it said "Damn you, Sharktopus," and that was sort of the catchphrase for the whole movie. And I like to think, I've got a little piece of that because that was my contribution.
Yeah, it's definitely the highlight line for me, in my opinion, because it just describes the entirety of the movie, which is pretty much the Sharktopus, and it just describes how you would react to it, and it's stellar. Everything, like, that line just is killer.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. And it's so silly because it's tongue in cheek, and I get to play. They wanted to make me a radio personality because they wanted to tie it into the morning show, and it was just start to finish. It was just such a great fun day to be shooting on that. And it took us just one day where we did all that footage, and it was just a blast.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like you had a lot of fun on it. You legendary like movies that center around something fun and entertaining, like you did Lavalantula, which is another movie that you did for Sci-Fi with Steve Guttenberg, and you played Captain Jack in that one. And I was like, wait a minute, wasn't he Captain Jack? While we were watching Sharktopus, I went, wasn't he Captain Jack in Lavalantula? So were they supposed to somewhat be the same sort of person?
Well, it's funny because Mike Mendez, who wrote and directed Lavalantula, also a listener of the morning show, he thought it was hilarious that I was in Sharktopus, and he enjoyed Sharktopus, and he's a great director and loves monster movies and all that kind of stuff. So he wanted me in Lavalantula because I had been in Sharktopus. So it was sort of inspired by that. So I played Captain Jack in Sharktopus, but I played Pirate Jack in Lavalantula. Yeah. So the guy has the same name, but they just altered it slightly because I'm kind of playing in Lavalantula a low-rent Johnny Depp sort of wannabe outside Grauman's Chinese Theater there. One of those people who
were a knockoff pirate
harassed the tourists and try to get them to pose for pictures for tips kind of thing. So if they had said Captain Jack, because of Captain Jack Sparrow, it would have been a legal issue. So they changed the character's name to Pirate Jack.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But that too, that movie was even more fun to work on because I had a lot more to do, and I got to work with Guttenberg and Patrick Renna, who was awesome. And I got to run around with those guys and had a bunch of scenes. And then, again, I got horribly killed by the creature. So I'm never in the sequel on these things.
Yeah.
Because I always die in the first one.
Yes. So if you had your opportunity to go up against, in real life, a Sharktopus or the Lavalantula, which one would you choose? And do you think that you would survive till the end of it?
I would go up against the Lavalantula more than I would want to go up against the Sharktopus, because let's face it, Sharktopus can get you any number of ways. If you're on the land, he can grab you with his tentacles. If you're in the ocean, that's his turf. You got no shot. But I think the Lavalantula, I could at least run. I could run away from a Lavalantula, or I could get a baseball bat and start beating it to death or something. I'd have a shot at least with Lavalantula. But the Sharktopus was just too big, too overwhelming.
Yeah, that would definitely be the one I would choose. They're especially the smaller Lavalantulas, you could probably run away from those.
Yeah. Although, obviously, in the movie, I didn't, because they crawled all over me and burned me to death.
They burned you to death in the museum.
That's right. Yes.
Well, thank you for your time. We greatly appreciate it, and thank you for talking Sharktopus with us. It was a lot of fun, and we really appreciate you being on. Do you have anything to pimp out or to pimp out your podcast or anything?
Just what you mentioned, of course, Monday through Friday, folks can hear my morning radio show podcast called The Ralph Report for as little as 15 cents a day, as you mentioned. So it's a bargain. We do it 5 days a week, and then we do live stream the weekends during this whole quarantine. People can get together and hang out, and it's been a blast. Been doing that for a couple years. Hollywood Babylon will be returning as soon as we can get back into a comedy club. Mm-hmm. And get back up on stage and do what we love to do. And I got some stuff coming up later this year. Can't really talk about it, but hopefully I'll be working with Kevin maybe in another project or two. So it's good to have friends like Kevin Smith and Seth MacFarlane and those guys who keep me busy.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for everything, and we really appreciate it. Thank you very much for being on.
My pleasure, boys. My pleasure. Take care. And if you send me a mailing address, I still have a handful of those damn you Sharktopus buttons. I'll send you guys a couple, okay?
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thanks.
All right, guys.
All right.
Take care.
Take care.